All right. So we had a little issue with Zoom, and the second hour didn't record. So I am going to recreate our second hour of our free webinar without an actual live audience. See how I can do with that. So I get a lot of energy from you out there, and this is going to be a challenge for me. It's one of my answers, is to be relational. So being here all by myself teaching this stuff is a little challenging, but I think I can do it because I told you I would have this for you. All right, let's get this started. Try to find the last slide we were on. I think it was that. So I'm going to share my screen and play the slide. All right. I don't want to mute myself. I'm not muted. And I'm going to check again to make sure it's recording. It says it's recording. It says I can also do this live on Facebook. That would be interesting. And so I sent out an email just now and invited all of you. So maybe some people will join me. If not, this will be the recorded version. It will be on the website. All right, so we talked about the answer. The last thing we talked about was the answer, and let's see, right here, the 5 C's of the answer. And so catching it, becoming curious about it, collaborating with it, contacting it, and connecting with it. And then what we do with the answer is basically what people do to stay safe or stay attached. And so the way we do that is with the nonviolence principle, and it's like, so it sounds like you're really good at staying safe by disappearing. And I know previously on the recording that Zoom is looking for very nice people at Zoom, trying hard, but Judy asked, what do you do about clients who have the invisible one as the answer? And so this is a good example of that. So it sounds like you're really good at staying safe by disappearing. Since you're really good at that, we're going to predict that that's what will happen during processing. And so part of what we're doing with the answer in the preparation phase of EMDR is using it as a way to predict what is needed in terms of resources. And so that's an important part of it. And like I mentioned earlier, doing resources just for the sake of resourcing because it's fun is something that Francine Shapiro cautions against, and I know it frustrates her. And so I have found that too, that we want to help people heal as quickly as possible while they remain safe. And so part of that is to help them with the resources that they actually need. And so the answer will tell us what's underdeveloped for them and what resources do we have to put in place. What's the plan and what practicing is needed in order for them to be able to tolerate the processing phase of EMDR. That's why this is so useful. It's not just a fun, although it can be a fun game to play at parties, but the reason we do anything other than the processing, because that's what is so effective in helping people to really change, to be free. The reason we do that is all to build up to processing. Sometimes that can take years, depending on the client, depending on what they need. If they have no resources, if they have DID, it could take a long time before they're ever able to tolerate processing. But for most of our clients, it's not that long. And so we only want to do as much resourcing as is necessary, and to do that specifically depending on the needs of the client. So another concept is that we can only work in the present moment, and that is the past is somehow limiting and blocking the present moment. And so not the past, but how those past events are stored. And so we don't really care what happened in the past unless it's impacting them right now. So sometimes in the old days when we did EMDR and we would come up with a list of 10 most disturbing memories, We didn't always get to the right ones. But if you go through the current disturbance, you might find something that is an attachment injury or something that's a developmental trauma that they may not have linked to being the root of the current limit or disturbance. So it's really important to go through the present to find those earlier memories that are stored in a way that they are still having an impact on the client. And so that's why we discover those memories through the current distress that's occurring. And we want to keep one foot in the present. So that's where the mindfulness comes into play, and also the dual awareness that we use for EMDR. And so our answers, and I think this is the part I actually didn't get to in the other part. So, hey, you get something extra. So our answers are, it's important for us to figure out why those answers surface and what happened. So our answers were very helpful to keep us safe or attached at one time. I'm just thinking, I wonder if this is actually where I ended. Anyway, let's go through these slides. It will be helpful for you. And so looking at your own answer is the best way to really get this, because you get to see how you are actually keeping yourself stuck by using your strength or your automatic procedural tendency. They become our strength and our go-to way of managing. So our answers are what we work. They work to keep us safe or keep us attached. And so it becomes our go-to way of managing. And they are now patterns that feel like a reality. So it feels like the truth of the moment. And really it's either a memory or a lie that is coming up, and we still feel like we have to manage it in a way that we did the earlier time. And they also keep us from getting the thing we want most. So this is an interesting thing about the answer, is that as we are doing this, our strength or our thing that we do really well and procedurally, the thing that we do under stress, under that is actually the missing experience or the thing that we want most. And so as our answers become stronger and our awareness less, because the answer is basically the trance we go into and the way that we manage automatically. In EMDR processing, or in other parts, not just the processing, the answer can become the block. Some people call it the defense, like I said before. And I think even thinking about it that way makes you think there's some battle to be won there. And so to look at it as an answer is a nonviolent way of seeing it. And it's also a kind way of appreciating it as it's there. And they keep us from being free. So all of those things on the chart, and I know many of you want those charts, which is awesome. And so I'm going to see if I can get them downloaded to the website, but we'll see. If you're really interested, you can also take other trainings, and our training that the review training, you'll get the whole manual as a part of that. So it keeps us from being free, and it holds us back. It keeps us from being a shining star. And so it keeps us limited and keeps us in our old patterns and blocked and contracted somehow in some way. And it actually creates what we don't want. So for instance, if someone is really good at disappearing, they want to be seen and they don't want to be invisible. I'm invisible can sometimes be their negative cognition. But because they're so good at disappearing and it happens automatically, it keeps them from being present. And it manifests in our physical body. So eventually your answer is going to be visible to all, because it becomes the way our body is shaped and the way that we carry ourselves in the way that we habitually move, and it becomes our physical body. Either the tightness here, holding back and up, like the hero, or being collapsed like the needy one. Those become our habitual way of being, and then become our physical body. So I have an invitation for you, and this is a way to look at your answer and to write a statement about your unique abilities and what is your challenge and where did you learn it. This will help you see your answer. In addition to taking the answer, you have all this on here. You can stop and start and see all the forms on here if I don't find a way to download them. But looking at what are you really good at doing, and what is your challenge? So you're looking at what's overdeveloped for you basically, and what's underdeveloped for you. What is your challenge, and where did you learn how to do that so well? This will help you with your answer to see what is your strength, what is underdeveloped for you, and what memories and lies are keeping you limited and keeping you from being a shining star. So in the spirit of being vulnerable, I shared my own that I did with you. So to give you an example, the unique skill. I have a unique ability to see patterns and have a global sense of what is happening. I do this with a laser sharp focus on what the individual is doing or not doing to keep the unwanted patterns going. And I see the answer very clearly showing up in the words, the actions, the physical movements, the physical manifestations, and the things that are elusive, as well as the unwanted things that are present. I also have a skill of optimizing by multi-layering activities. So those are what I do. And so you can see there are probably several of the character types in my unique skill, my strength. And so the challenge for me is to harness the power of the multitude of brilliant ideas to help manifest freedom for as many people as possible, which is my goal. And a specific challenge is getting lost in the details of the items around me, believing that my environment has to be perfect Zen before I can be Zen inside. And another challenge is the comparison and seeing myself as not measuring up to others, and that helps me to hold back from shining. And so those are my challenges, is what's underdeveloped. And then how did I learn this? What's the memory and lie? The challenge was created as a child and has been with me for a long time. I felt a lot of inner chaos and sensed the external chaos after my father's death when I was 20 months old. And my mom was amazing with her answer. And her answer was to keep a perfect house. And in spite of having 10 children, her anxiety was only calmed by having the environment perfect. She did a great job of keeping things clean, making dinner, getting everything done. And I learned early to help regulate her by connecting with her emotionally and trying to please her. And I also learned about having everything in place or I'm not okay. And so I developed a lie about not measuring up by my experiences as being the youngest in 10. And I also learned it wasn't safe to shine. And so that might have been true at the time. That's the nature of these memory and lies. They were true at one time, but now they're not. So now I know that I am good enough because I'm just as good as I am. There is no comparison. It doesn't have to be. And it is safe to shine now. So I think I went over this already. I'm going to do it again. The Personal Transformation Institute is emdr-training.net. And we have a brand new website, and you're probably on it right now as you watch this, because that's the purpose of this. We have EMDRIA approved basic trainings and also EMDRIA approved distance trainings. And so those distance learning trainings are on this new site. The exciting part is you have instant access after you purchase those to the downloads. And we have live webinars that, like this one, that was live an hour ago. And we have both free webinars and also webinars, whoops, that are, I lost my screen. We have free webinars and we have webinars that are live webinars that you can purchase for EMDRIA credits. Let me get back on here. All right. So another thing that was important in developing is a way to seamlessly offer certification. I think I lost my screen sharing. Where is it? Right here. Okay, share my screen. Oh, there's Wanda. Somehow Wanda's on here. All right. So let's go back. Yeah, so we wanted a way to have a seamless way to provide certification. That's one of the most common questions when someone signs up for a basic training is, can I get certified with this training? And many people think that it's, the certification is just after taking the 6 days of basic training, but it's actually EMDRIA sets the requirements for certification. And so the certification requirements are 20 hours of certification with any approved consultant. It doesn't have to be us, but we offer, if you want to go on with our way of doing things, you learn through us. And you do it in groups of 2. And the beauty of that is you have 1 consultant for 2 people, and you have 10 hours of individual because you are only in 2 people with 20 hours. And you also get the benefit of someone else's learning by having 10 hours of group and watching their videos, seeing their mistakes. And those groups are generally once a month. We set them up, and it's 2 hours per month, so it takes about 10 months. And it's really needed because you need some time to practice this stuff and to have people helping you learn that. And then you also get in that package 12 hours of advanced EMDRIA approved training by us, either the live webinar. We have one coming up in February and April that I offered at the end of this, a coupon for. You can save $100, or you can do a package of the distance learning options and get 12 hours of those. So you get options for that. And we'll have all of the live webinars eventually become a distance learning option. And then, so we are the Personal Transformation Institute. And so we have a specific path for us and for moving through our way of doing things. And that path is one of many. And but we have this specific focus on somatic and attachment focus, EMDR. And so the first step is taking an EMDR basic training. For some of you, maybe the first step was watching this. So welcome. And a part of that basic training, when we developed that, here are some things that were really important for us to offer. Because like I said, I developed this training out of what was missing in the other training. So as a HAP trainer, people would have to go out and find all of their own consultation. There wasn't a consistency with it, and there wasn't the support that I felt is necessary to help people. So a really important part of that support is to offer videos. And so we have a video member section, the training portal. After you sign up for an EMDR basic training, you have access to the videos of all 6 days of training and access to all the demo videos. That was really important because that training is intense. It's an awesome training. You come out of the EMDR training, you have something very specific you can go off and utilize with clients, a way of working. but it's very intense and it's only 6 days. And so you really need some time to integrate, and many of the concepts, it's very helpful if you can watch those videos over again and help them to sink in a different way. So we have that, the video part of that. We also have a email listserv group for people who have completed it. And now we also have a private Facebook group for personal transformation graduates. And so many ways of staying in touch, asking questions, getting answers. And so that's all a part of just the basic training. Also joining EMDRIA and continuing in some way is going to help you with after your basic training. And then we also have advanced trainings you can do whether or not you're going for certification. If you completed the basic training, you're eligible to purchase the advanced trainings, either the distance learning or the live webinars. And then becoming certified, like I said, is the 20 hours and 12 hours of advanced training. And then there are other EMDRIA requirements also, but that's what, those are two pieces of those requirements. And then we have another step that a few people are taking, and it's a lot of fun. Some of them have gone through the whole process with us and are now becoming assistants and EMDRIA approved consultants through becoming assistants. And so that is a lot of fun. And I'm finding it really the best way ever to become an approved consultant, because number one, you're sitting through 2 complete trainings again. And in each one of those, I can almost guarantee you're going to learn something new, even if you heard it already. So that's what I've heard over and over again from people who do it. And then you are assisting at those trainings while, I'm observing you at first and helping and giving feedback. And then you would be a part of a certification group of 2, where at first you'll be observing me doing 10 hours, so 5 months of certification, where you're just observing. And I'm recording those too. Those are also done on Zoom. And so you get to have access to those recordings, so you can see again, how things work, a very specific path to take using our model. And then I observe you for 10 hours, so 5 more months of consultation and giving you feedback on teaching. And then by the time you're finished with that, you really are a good approved consultant. You know what you're doing and you're ready to go. Then you can become an approved consultant and also an assistant with us, and you become paid as a assistant, and you can come to the trainings and help us, and it's a lot of fun. And then if you really love it, you can become a trainer. And so I'm really picky about the trainers. Everyone cannot become a trainer with us because we have very specific knowledge that many people that just know the EMDR model don't have. So to become a trainer, you really have to go through our becoming an assistant first. And it's really helpful if you go through the other things, but I know that that's a long, long process. So becoming an assistant is the first step if you want to be a trainer. So that is our path. And I actually made this flow chart because my assistant was like, there's so many moving parts here. I'm not sure which one, which way we're going. So this was helpful for her. So I decided to put it on the website too. And is that it? No, it is. It should not be. There it is. Okay. So our overview. We have this is actually the title of the webinar that's starting in February. It's the last weekend of February and the first weekend, I believe, of April. And it's kind of nice because we just go it's 12 hours, EMDRIA credits, and 3 hours per day. So it's not too overwhelming, and it's through this medium. So you can just be at home in your pajamas. And we record it so you can watch it over and over again. So we meet 3 hours and we take a break every hour. And then you also have access to the recordings for a year after. So you can watch it as many times as you want to. And if you can't be there for the live times, you'll have access to it. And it will be a review of our training and common mistakes and going deeper into our model of using the answer, applying that to clients, of using the somatic part of this and the attachment and how to apply that with clients. And we'll have lots of case examples and question and answer time. So there's a coupon code you can use for that, which is STAR, because you're a shining star, and you get $100 off by using that coupon code. And I know some of you will be watching this on the website and it will be over. So it was just a perk from those of you who took the time to get on and took the time to come and watch it later. So that will be available probably for 2 days, because I said so. And that's the end. So if you are interested, check out the website and see all the things we have to offer. And if you are with an agency or know of an agency that would like to have a training, or people in your city would like to have a training, let us know. We may come there. And our trainings are actually, because we include all the consultation, the 10 hours of consultation with the price, it is actually very competitive, if not cheaper, than even the HAP training. Some of those only charge 1/2 at a time. And now it's actually being required that they have people complete the other part within a year, because some people were not completing the whole training and only getting half trained. So there is no level 1 or 2 anymore, just so you all know. There is a basic training, and that basic training has certain criteria. So our trainings are all the complete training. So if you have any questions, let me know, and thank you so much for your interest, and thanks for putting up with my do-over. Take care. All right, bye.